This is Big.
And Small Travel.
And we're in
Parma,
Italy.
Yes, Parma is home to Parmigiano-Reggiano, one of the world's most prized cheeses.
There's also the spectacular Correggio fresco in the Duomo. And one of the most stunning frescoes in Italy. And a Renaissance theater.
This is Parmigiano-Reggiano. We bike through the countryside and go on a tour through a certified factory to get a behind-the-scenes look and taste of the cheese.
No. That's not good, it's bad.
Buongiorno. Discovering classical and opera from Verdi. We also enjoy the local prosciutto and Lambrusco,
as well as a national gallery that houses many priceless works.
like Leonardo da Vinci.
And especially don't forget the free puppet museum.
Allora, Sandrone è di Modena.
Anyway, it's free, it's cool.
Pretty cool, huh? Yeah. We are in Parma, named by the Etruscans.
Parma is a city in the Emilia-Romagna region
Of northern Italy.
It's located northwest of Bologna.
And the second biggest city in the province. We took the train to Parma. I am entering an Italian train. The train is usually very comfortable for us in Italy. Parma is accessible easily from nearby Bologna, also in Emilia-Romagna, and Milan.
Of course, Parma is known for its food, but when you come into the town, there are a ton of museums here. Some of them are even free, so make sure that you check some of them out.
Parma was founded by the Etruscans before 183 BC and then settled by Romans. This is the Parma Cathedral and the Baptistry of Parma, one of the most important medieval monuments in Europe. This is the Parma Cathedral. It does look very nice from the outside, but from the inside, if you go inside, the interior has the greatest fresco I've ever seen inside a church. And let's go take a look inside. This was built in about 1100, so this is nearly 1,000 years old. Italian lesson. This is?
Terrare, Pole.
This is an Italian Romanesque cathedral. Nearly 1,000-year-old cathedral with origins from the 6th century. From the outside, it's unassuming. I would never have thought it'd be so beautiful inside, as you can see. Italy is known for its churches, its cathedrals. This has the Assumption of the Virgin done by Correggio, who is from Reggio Emilia.
Antonio Allegri was born in the town of Correggio, which is why he became known as simply Correggio. His stunning style marks a transition from Renaissance to Baroque art. He finished the Assumption of the Virgin fresco in 1530.
And this is a stunning piece of art.
It's a spectacular example of illusionistic painting, which tricks the eye into appearing three-dimensional.
Fresco on the roof of the church, I don't think I've ever seen something so exquisite.
It's as if you're looking up into Mary's destination, heaven. Antonio da Correggio is somewhat of a local hero. He created the beautiful piece in the Duomo here, and his artwork is in various places around Parma.
And we're at?
This is Piazza Garibaldi. There is a tourist office here that can help you kind of orient yourself, because there's a lot of museums in this town. There's a lot of things to see, actually, for such a small town.
Lambrusco time.
We are at Veneria Giramondo, and clearly there's lots of wines here. We got the Lambrusco, which is local to this region, and also, of course, the prosciutto di Parma, and a few other meats, including salami.
Lambrusco has quite the history, being from Emilia-Romagna. Cheers. Lambrusco. Time.
When in this region, you must have Lambrusco. It's a sparkling red, as you can see. Sometimes it's a little lighter, but we really like it.
There is evidence that the Etruscans cultivated Lambrusco. Later it became a favorite during Roman times, thanks to its high yields. Cheers. Around Parma, central Parma. It has a lot more here than meets the eye, than many people even realize. A lot of people don't come here.
Giuseppe Verdi is a significant historical figure throughout Italy.
Famous composer Verdi comes from about 40 minutes from where Parma is located. And we'll listen to some Verdi and see where his mind is.
You will see statues and many a theater bearing his name. Born near Busseto in the province of Parma,
Giuseppe Verdi's monument here in Parma, a little different than the one from Helsinki.
he is considered one of opera's most important composers. His most famous arias helped soundtrack the unification of Italy during the mid-1800s.
Verdi has written some of the most popular operas, including Rigoletto.
La donna è mobile, qual piuma al vento, muta d'accento.
Parma actually had a few remote working or smart working spots.
We're going about 7 kilometers to the cheese factory.
We are in the back of the group here, trying to get these shots here.
It has been a very smooth bike ride. It's about 9:30 in the morning. And where are we going today on our adventure? We did a bike food tour with Bike Food Stories. The name of the tour is Cycling Tasting Parma. This tour was hosted by Davide. More details below. Parmigiano-Reggiano dates back to around the 12th century, and its origins can be traced to a group of monasteries in the Parma region of northern Italy.
Let's get this straight. This is not Parmesan. For a cheese to be classified as Parmigiano-Reggiano, it must follow some extremely strict rules. It must be produced in one of just a few particular regions of Italy. It must contain only certain approved ingredients, starting with what the local cows eat. And it must follow a very meticulous process that includes an aging time of at least 1 year.
Because if you want, you can track it. So if you write this number on Google,
Around 550 liters of milk are needed to produce 1 wheel of the cheese. The milk is poured into traditional copper vats. Rennet and a whey starter are added.
The cheese master, yes, the cheese master, then takes over breaking down the curd and letting it form into a large mass that's cut into two, wrapped in a linen cloth and placed in a mold.
if you get this kind of a crust after, you can imagine that the cheese is not the same like this one.
After 12 months, the cheese is inspected by tapping a wheel with a hammer.
Okay, all of these cheese, they're not good.
If it doesn't sound quite right,
No, they're not good, bad.
the cheese doesn't pass the inspection. If it does, however, it may be aged upwards of 40 months or more. The longer the cheese is aged, the more intense the flavor. This is about 100 kilos or 200 pounds of cheese.
Finally, we're able to taste the cheese. This is a serious process. With this, they take the month and year of production, and you can sure taste the difference by age.
This is actually alfalfa that we're riding through right now. Perhaps this is what the cows eat to make the great cheese, I don't know.
Yeah, we started our bike ride in the city and now through the countryside here.
The Borrotini, Museo Gordano Ferrari. This is the puppet theater here in Parma. It is reminding me of Guignol in Lyon, which you can see footage of right now.
Alors au début ça m'amuse.
Let's go.
This is a free museum full of puppets.
Puppets con la mano.
Burattini.
I burattini con le mani.
Like with the hand.
Sì.
Mano.
Ok.
Mani.
I marionette.
Marionette con i fili.
Sì.
Vedi? Un filo muove un braccio,
Sì.
quell'altro braccio, una gamba e quell'altra gamba. Il burattino invece si infila la mano sotto il vestito.
Sì.
Ok.
The magic of puppets and how they kind of would depict real life issues, of course. This whole collection is dedicated to Giordano Ferrari, who was a puppeteer here in the Parma region. And as you can see, there are free shows, but we aren't going to be here for it.
Allora, mano, tre mani sotto il vestito. Ok. This is burattino. Burattino.
No, nome...
Sandrone.
Sandrone.
Ed è di Modena. Di Modena. È una città, city in Parma.
Tutto di Parma.
Parma e anche di tutta Italia. È una collection di tutti italiani, sì.
This really reminds us of certain things, but what's interesting about this collection is the different areas of Italy that had puppets, and these are coming from Sicily. They look like more militaristic, armored marionettes. And other parts that had puppets were Modena, Bologna, and Bergamo.
This is actually really cool and it's all free. And there's information in actually various languages, including English, of course.
If you go to the center of Parma and you have more than a couple days, definitely check this out, Pilata. You have the National Gallery or Gallery of Art here in Parma. This area was constructed in the 1500s by the Duke of Parma.
We're at the National Gallery, and this is the one of only 3 Renaissance theaters in existence. This was originally built in 1618 under the control of the Duke of Parma, and it was almost completely destroyed in World War II. So it was rebuilt and reopened in the 60s.
One of only 3 in Italy, Renaissance era. Teatro Farnese is the first theater with a proscenium. The arena between stage and seating could be flooded and used for performances of naval battle scenes. This is a theater in which the audience views the action through a single frame. What's very impressive is that this room probably was as is in the 15th and 16th century. So if you think of the design and how people would see shows here, theater productions, it's really just incredible to think this is how it was. Really beautiful theater, for sure.
It does feel very grand when you're in here.
In Parma, during the construction of a garage, a Roman bridge was discovered. This bridge was functional until the 1100s. You can see it. More information below on this bridge.
I really like it.
Cheers. Oh my.
Okay, you saw us at the factory where they make this, the Parmigiano-Reggiano. And this is a side order of it. That's a lot of cheese. With the Lambrusco.
That Lambrusco, how would you describe that?
It's just, I don't know, it's just very refreshing. If you like a little bit of bubbly, this is really good. Everyone talks about Prosecco, but Lambrusco is very nice.
That's where it's at.
Yeah.
Quite the believer in the Lambrusco, but we're also here to eat in Parma. Plenty of things to do in Parma. Emilia-Romagna lasagna from here, lasagna Emilia-Romagna, and it's been excellent. Oh my.
So I ate almost all of that cheese, but I just got a big plate of tortelli, or some of you might know it as ravioli. And this is 3 different types, one with pumpkin, one with Swiss chard. The other, I think, is just a cheese.
The Pelota is an imposing palace, a symbol of the ducal power of the Farnese family. And the Farnese were a family here that brought quite a bit in terms of art culture.
As well as a national gallery that houses many priceless works. The National Gallery houses an unfinished painting credited to Leonardo da Vinci called La Scapigliata, or the Lady with Disheveled Hair. There is some controversy whether it's actually the work of da Vinci or one of his pupils. However, its use of lighting and shadowing is striking.
This really hit me, by Gimbiase Pittoni, made by a Venetian from the 1730s. It really has a distorted beauty and pain. It is Mary Magdalene venerating the crucified.
There's a great collection of both local artwork, and then this is more Tuscan.
That you also see in accordance with the Venetian era, or Venetian part of Italy, Tuscan, here Emilia-Romagna, Ligurian, Lombardy, onward down to Rome.
These were originally sculpted in the 2nd century and were brought to Parma from Rome. The Palatine Library was founded in 1761 under the Duke of Parma. We were told that most of the books, over 700,000 of them, are in Italian or Latin.
Clearly Parma had a lot going on. If you have time, on the countryside near Parma, you'll find the world's largest labyrinth, Mason's Labyrinth or Labirinto della Masone. I hope you enjoyed our exploration of Parma in Emilia-Romagna. Please subscribe.
And don't forget to click the bell to get all of our updates.
Thank you for watching. Grazie mille.
Grazie. Ciao.
Ciao.